Stations. Alien beings that had an insect-like.
Well, I went ahead and recorded this. I didn't get a top score by any stretch of the imagination, but came in respectable in the middle. But there was some maneuvers I did in here, which I don't typically do. I've been trying to not only look at situational awareness, but also when I'm approaching a ship, trying to anticipate what that ship may do. In other words, if I were in that ship and I were facing this large battleship, what would I do? And that comes in somewhere near the end of the battle, and somewhat humorous actually. You'll see that here shortly, but pretty much this battle starts off kind of slow as usual.
All forces, provide cover for that target.
They always said about the Kurfurst that you could see this thing from the moon, because its detection is, well, let's just say it's probably, if not the worst in the game, it's pretty close to it, or is the worst. So it's probably good to make sure you get some ships in front of you when you're going into a battle zone. One of the things I've noticed, I've been kind of keeping a poll or record here recently about what is typically where the enemy team goes first. And, you know, I started noticing it during battles. And I thought, okay, well, what's driving that? And I was trying to figure out, all right, if the teams continue to do this, there's obviously a reason. Now, I can't even remember in this battle, but what I'm noticing is if you're the enemy, you usually go to the sector to your left first, the majority of your ships. And I believe that happens in this battle as well. And you begin to ask yourself, why do teams do that? And I've come up with a theory, whether it's right or not, I don't know. But typically, no matter what nation you're from, if you're reading, I think most nations, when they're reading something, they read from left to right. When you look at a photograph of a group of people, where do you normally start first? Typically the left side, and you read across, because that's the way the note is in the bottom, but you also look at the photos. So I have a theory that primarily it is people read from left to right, so it's a natural thing to try to go to the left first. Here I know there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5 ships so far. I tried to get our Z-52 to steer away from there. I even made the comment, if you've been reading the comments, to stay away. But apparently they didn't like that, and all of a sudden now it's coming to fruition. Of course, I find myself in trouble. I'm the one with the big heart trying to be a good teammate. So, fortunately, my friendly here set some smoke. I'm in real trouble. So I try to find a good spot. We rub fenders here a minute. But I begin to realize the position I'm in. And that is, a good chunk of their Navy is going to be coming around the bend here in just a minute. And you notice my cruiser friend, he does what a good cruiser would. He stays a little bit, leaves me the smoke to help me out. And then, you know, he needs to hightail it out of there because he's going to be in deep trouble as well. I go ahead and set my secondaries on the Des Moines here. For some reason, the replays, it doesn't show you're doing that, but trust me, I'm doing that in the ship. Or maybe not yet, because I'm not getting any hits, but there's a second ship that comes around the bend here. Okay, there's the Minotaur. So, let's see. There's more ships there than what's shown on the radar, and you'll see. Of course, if you look off to my southeast, Kurfurst, theirs is slowly closing in, but I know I'm going to be in real trouble. I can't have time to turn around, so I'm going to make a headway for the gap and keep the ships on the enemy team on the other side of that island. And I'll face the Kurfurst, but I've got a friendly over there, the DD. Of course, somebody's going to use their radar, because I don't really care, because you can see me from the moon. So the best thing I can do is get out of firing range as quick as possible. So now I get myself turned around. And I'm going to start facing their Kurfurst. Of course, I know I've got a friendly over there to help me out. Now I've got my friendly Masashi coming. Sorry about that. So I closed the gap on the Kurfurst, knowing that probably he's going to try to ram me, so I set myself up for him thinking I'm going straight ahead, but I had a plan, that is to turn immediately to the left, so that my front bow is always toward him. And I'm going to close the gap so much that it may be hard for his turrets to get around, but I can't recall if he hits me here or not, but my friendly DD he hits my turtle back and it just bounces off. So he tries to get me, but I turn my rudder the other way just enough to squeak by him. I take a little damage there, but he's really getting hammered from me, because as soon as my secondaries get turned around here, I'll be firing on him. You can see I've got 110 secondaries going on here. He's burning, and I'm not yet. He's losing a lot of health. The Bismarck is coming into view over there, but he's being occupied by a couple of my friends. I think in this battle was probably about half and half, so the stats I put down here to tell my Z52 that the stats pretty much held at worst for the, it was half and half, but you can almost be guaranteed on most maps that a good chunk of their navy is going to go to the left, their left side or your right. I'm trying to get out of there fairly quickly to get over towards some of my friends, knowing they're going to need help over there. We've got plenty of ships attacking them. And I'm going to start firing on their Minotaur again. There's still 3 DDs out there, and I believe there's a DD over an A that's not showing up. Friendlies are going to take out the Kurfurst with a sea of torpedoes. I was trying to encourage my team there a little bit to keep fighting. There were too many people contributing to that battle win over there on the A sector. I know that DD is off to my right, so I'm trying to turn around quickly. Alright, this is starting to set up the scene I was talking about earlier at the beginning of the video. I'll make a wide turn and swing around in B and then come back. And I'm going to face, I believe, the Iowa, but after that there is a cruiser. I don't remember which one it is, and he's going to have torpedoes. And typically when you're in the Kurfurst, you're a huge target and you're pretty easy to hit. And I'm not saying I'm that good at this, but this was a unique time where I actually made the conscientious effort to anticipate what that cruiser might do, because I knew I was in trouble. He was close enough. Of course, I was peeling him down with my secondary fire, and he was burning like a coal-fired furnace. But first I gotta go through this. I've got the Minotaur coming up over here, and we have to take him out. Of course he fires his torps. I knew he would. I was trying to get my bow on, and my friends take him out the rest of the way. I dodged these torpedoes. And I'm starting to look around and say, okay, I know that Iowa's coming in here. So I'm trying to get my bow turned around to face him. My friendly DD over here is on his last leg with 510 available hit points left, which is about the equivalent of 1 or 2 127 millimeter shells. So he's trying to stay hidden as much as possible. Sergeant Chevron. Wonder if that's off of one of my favorite sci-fi movies. Not necessarily the Sergeant, but the Chevron. Go back in time through a Stargate, remember? Chevron 1 through 7. Interesting name, but he finally... I was trying to make a joke here because I don't know if Wargaming's increased the storm intensity or not. I don't know who ARP was calling a greedy pig, but I don't think it was me. I think he was talking to Mossberger there. Greedy pig's probably about as clean as you're going to get. So anyway, I thought I was going to deal with the Iowa, but lo and behold, here comes the Henry. And watch this. This is really interesting. I knew he was going to make his right turn and fire his torp, so I had already started turning my rudder even before the torpedoes show up. My secondaries are wailing into him, but I anticipated this because this thing turns like a tractor trailer in low gear. I got by with just 2 torps. He launched again. I'm still turning pretty tight. I never let up my turn. Now watch his comment here. Not the words I would use, but it was still somewhat funny. I try to say good game. Islands jump out. That's one agile Kurfurst. So I took that as a compliment. Hope you enjoyed the video.